Hi folks, welcome back. Time has now come to understand about the customer connectivity. Now, let's say you have been building or creating some VCNs, and apart from that, you have also created certain or provisioned certain, say VMs or database servers. Now, within OCI. Now everything is sitting within your public cloud or within OCI. Now question is that you want to connect to these services or these servers. How would you go about it, right? So in OCI, normally there are two basic mechanisms in which you can make this connection. The one way is which was called the IPsec VPN approach, and nowadays Oracle calls it the site-to-site VPN, and the other option is Fastconnect. So if you actually look at it, just to understand it briefly, with site-to-site VPN, it is all based on the software-based VPN approach, right? So you will have a VPN set up between we call it the CPE or device or a customer premise equipment device, which will have its, let's say, own public IP address, and we set up a VPN between your on-prem or the customer premise equipment and on the OCI side, and it's done via the dynamic routing gateway, which is quite important. And this dynamic routing gateway is set up on your VCN, right? Again, as we learned about gateway is kind of a gate which helps you to go for the traffic to go in or out, and so gateway is helping you to connect to the outside destination, which is your on-prem connectivity, right? And this is more approach, but the important thing or the important bit here is internet. So all your traffic is going via the internet, right? So it's not your dedicated kind of channel where your traffic is going. But the second type is more dedicated. This is, you can think about a dedicated lease line or dedicated line between your customer data center. Again, you have a CPU, the customer premise equipment, and your OCI region. And normally it is via the Fastconnect data center location. So Oracle has actually teamed up with several, you can say, vendors who actually help provide this connectivity. So from a remote location or a customer data center, you can reach to say the Oracle's say approved vendor list, and then from there you can go to the OCI region. So normally, if you ask me, there is Colt, then there is Equinix, right? So there is a big list based on your region where you are, whether you are based out of US, you are based out of UK. You can always get the list of these Fastconnect locations or Fastconnect partners, as we actually call them. So let's try and take a look into each of these. So the first thing is connection type, right? What kind of connection are we talking about? So in a site-to-site VPN, you have a secure and encrypted connection over the public internet. So as I said, the connection is over the public internet, right? But it is always secure. It is kind of a tunnel, right, between your on-prem and between the OCI. It is always encrypted. Remember, it is always encrypted and over public internet. And now if I compare it with Fastconnect, it is a dedicated private connection. So here we are actually talking about a physical connection, right? There is a physical cable or multiple cables that are being laid between your remote location and your OCI region, right? So it's a dedicated, it's your say kind of private connection between your on-prem network and the OCI, and it bypasses the public internet. Very important. In Fastconnect, you are not at all going via the public internet, right? You're not at all using internet. It is your dedicated line which is actually providing you that connectivity. Next point is setup, right? So normally question is asked, or a lot of customers would say, but how do you compare the setup of these two types of connectivities? So it's relatively easy to set up via this using standard VPN devices. So every customer would have a customer premise equipment, and there would be standard VPN devices, and using Oracle's say site-to-site VPN software, we can actually, or IPsec VPN as we call it, you can easily set up the VPN. The setup for OCI Fastconnect needs more coordination. Now you need a coordination with your network resources within your organization. So not only that, but you also need to work with network providers. So it could be a network provider, or we also call the Fastconnect partners, right? Something like what I talked about, Colt, Equinix. You need to work with your Fastconnect partners, and you can have so that you can have kind of a co-location within Oracle's network exchange points, as we have shown here. So just to quickly compare, setup wise, it's pretty simple if you're doing a IPsec VPN or site-to-site VPN, but it's generally more complex and more time consuming as well if you're actually doing via the Fastconnect approach. Right, cost. Yes, typically cheaper than Fastconnect. Oracle doesn't charge you, first of all, for this IPsec VPN approach. It's considered to be free, but all the cost is more of on this side, which is your customer premise equipment side or the VPN that you are setting up. But normally, if you ask me, all the companies would already be having this kind of setup, so you don't have to do any additional, or there shouldn't be any additional cost for you just to set up the IPsec VPN or site-to-site VPN. But definitely there is more cost, and it's more expensive when we talk about Fastconnect due to dedicated resources. As I said, there's a dedicated line between your customer data center and your Fastconnect location, but it can be cost effective for large amount of data transfer. Yes. It's quite important if you are actually paying a lot for your, let's say you are connected via the IPsec VPN approach, but you are actually paying a lot in terms of your, say, data transfer, then it helps to actually go via the Fastconnect approach. Now we compare the speed and bandwidth. So always remember, here you are actually limited by the speed of internet, right? Or your network provider, whoever is actually giving you the internet. So it offers a maximum bandwidth of 1 Gbps per tunnel. So as you can have multiple tunnels, but actual throughput might be low due to internet congestion. So always remember, if there is traffic or congestion on the internet, then you would obviously have much less speed and bandwidth. So you can go up to, this is like the maximum you can go is around 1 Gbps. That's what Oracle normally says. But if I actually compare with say the Fastconnect, normally you actually start with 1 Gbps. So here where you end, you start. So here we are ending at 1 Gbps maximum kind of speed, and here we are starting with 1 Gbps, and it can go even up to 100 Gbps, right? It normally says that you can go with increments of 10 Gbps, right? Latency, it varies again. The key is internet. If you are going via the internet, then you are obviously dependent on the internet conditions, right? So normally the latency would be higher, and it is less consistent than the Fastconnect, right? So I would say consistency wise, it is much lesser, and the latency is much higher. And in Fastconnect, again, because this is all dedicated, this is for your company, the latency is much lower, and you get more consistent performance than the VPN approach. Again, quite related, I would say, to the consistency that we talked about. Reliability. Obviously, you will if you are paying less or you're not paying at all, you can't rely on it, right? So because you are relying on the public internet, so any traffic on the public internet, it will have direct impact on your traffic as well, or your workloads. So it's subject to potential outages or disruptions, right? But reliability wise, this is quite high. Fastconnect, you get very good reliability, and again, you can have backup mechanisms as well. With Fastconnect, you can have multiple lease lines between your say customer premise equipment and the OCI, and over there also there are multiple routers. If one goes down, the other is available. So definitely it is more reliable way to connect. Encryption wise, data is always encrypted. So you'll see that if you are setting up a VPN, it is always encrypted. Traffic is not encrypted in Fastconnect, but remember, you still have the option to encrypt it, right? So nobody is stopping you. So traffic is not encrypted by default, but encryption can be added, right? And what are the use cases? Normally, if you ask me, normally people start with POCs, right? So if you're doing a POC, you would actually do a POC on a site-to-site VPN, and later on you'll transition to a Fastconnect, right? Or if you're a small company, you can't afford much on the Fastconnect side of the things, then you could go with a say a site-to-site VPN. So it's ideal for small to medium-sized business, non-critical data transfer, right? Because where you're not too concerned about your PII, right? It's a non-critical critical data transfer that is taking place. Even if it is via public internet encrypted, you are okay. Even if some hacker comes in, you are fine, right? Because it's non-critical to you. And the backup or replication tasks where occasional latency spikes are acceptable. And the other use cases for Fastconnect can be, it's ideal for enterprises. When I say enterprises, you can say big companies, yeah, big organizations, banks. They would always go with of Fastconnect, right? Because they have heavy data transfer needs, critical applications, and they don't want that the critical application data should be transferring via the internet, right? So, and these applications require consistent performance, migration of large data sets, which require low latency communication. So that's kind of a comparison, a good comparison you can have between all of these artifacts in terms of your connectivity, right? So mainly two mechanisms. Either you do site-to-site VPN, which is, I would say, much cheaper option, but less reliable. Or you can go with Fastconnect, which is a costly option, an expensive option, but more reliable. So thanks for watching.